Puedes comer.
Hi.
Hello! Welcome
Hi.
back to Cooking with Events by Collette and Chef Reese. As usual, he is eating his almuerzo, lunch. Sí, él tiene hambre. So, here in August, it's a big traveling month for a lot of folks. And
1927.
sí. In 1927, in 1927, we're going to be cooking a recipe that we have been making, believe it or not, since then in this country because of somebody named Loretta Scott Crew. This is a big camping month, so we thought we'd surprise you with a derivative of something that we usually make while we're camping, with a campfire. Growing up in California and now living in Austin, Texas, I don't get to enjoy campfires as much as I'd like. So this particular recipe has been a part of my life, but I've had to come up with alternatives to enjoy it because of all the fire bans that we have in both areas due to the dryness and the heat. But yes, so my parents, or actually my mother, who still reads the newspaper along with my father, they sent me a clipping of a recipe for something similar, but I kind of looked at it and I said, you know, I like the concept, but I'm going to change it up like I usually do. So that inspired me to come up with coconut walnut s'more bites. They used to be called Some More, again, when back in 1927, when Loretta Scott Crew was stuck in a bind that she said, gosh, I need to feed 16 hungry Girl Scouts. She created this recipe of graham crackers, chocolate, and marshmallows. I'm not the biggest fan of marshmallows because they're just so high in sugar and they have basically zero nutrient quality. So we're replacing the marshmallows with coconut and walnuts today. That being said, there was, oh yes, if you haven't become familiar with it, I thought it was very interesting, but the Girl Scout guidebook called Tramping and Trailing with the Girl Scouts was the very first book to publish this particular recipe of s'mores, which we are cooking a derivative of. We just happened to cook these the other day because I got a pie crust that's gluten-free graham cracker pie crust that just came completely kaput in the mail. So I said, well, what can I do with this? It's all in crumbs. And I just created this and gave it out to Reese's teachers. Oh, tu huésped, sí, obtienes. And lo and behold, everybody was just blown away by this recipe. So I said, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and share it with the world and let's make our next video with it. Bueno, Reese, comencemos. ¿Dónde está tu huésped? Okay, well, we're waiting for him. What is the first ingredient of s'mores? If you don't know this, you should know this. Okay, Reese, galletas de graham. Graham crackers. These are the Del Me brand pie crust that just ground up, or if you get it in the mail, already ground up for you. But yes, as usual, if you need the spelling of that, if you don't remember that, it is in the recipe, which I will be posting. So we're adding 1.5 cups of Del Me brand graham cracker crumbs. And what is the second most important ingredient of s'mores? Reese, get it? Oh, okay. Reese huésped. Reese.
Él no está conectado.
Oh, okay. ¿Él no está listo?
No.
Okay. Okay. Esperamos for Reese y vamos a cocinar. Okay, so what's the next ingredient? There's 3 main ingredients to s'mores. We have graham crackers. Next we have chocolate. Most people use Hershey's chocolate, which my father-in-law loves dearly, but I'm not a huge fan of Hershey's chocolate. It's more of candy. We're going to be using semi-sweet chocolate chips and our lovely Trader Joe's brand cocoa powder. Boop. Hi, Keith. Yes, I know. You love your Hershey's. My father-in-law and his Hershey's chocolate. Okay, a ver. galletas y chocolate. And as I mentioned before, we are going to be replacing marshmallows today with coconut and walnuts. So the coconut is in coconut sprinkles. Easiest way to buy these is if you buy them in bulk, which I need to get some more of. By the way, note to myself. And then we're going to be also putting in the walnuts. And I ground these up in my nifty food processor. Nueces, coco, ¿sí, Reese? Y linaza.
Ahora está conectado.
Oh, ok. Dígame, ¿quién es?
No sé.
Diga la cámara.
No sé.
Es Legos. ¿Es una entrega de un aeropuerto?
Ay.
Ah, muy bien. Un gran remolcador.
Sí.
Ah, okay. It's going to be a huge delivery, which we're getting a lot of today with the lovely pandemic. Our house gets a delivery every day. Okay, the last solid ingredient we're going to be adding is flaxseed meal. As you usually know, if you haven't been watching again videos, I will tell you today, I always try to add something just a little more nutritional. Yes, walnuts have a ton of omega-3s in them, but also flaxseed does too, and just wanted to add that in just to give a little bit more nutritional value. You're probably questioning me too on, well, you don't care for marshmallows, but you're adding coconut flakes or coconut sprinkles. Coconut has been given a bad rep in the past, but we have recently found out the coconut actually is very versatile, and you can use it with everything. It's become a staple in our house. Coconut oil, flour, flakes, milk. You can use it with so many different things, and it actually is very healthy for you. Yes, Mother, it is healthy. Sorry. Okay, bueno. Okay, Reese, ayúdame con la leche de coco. On that topic, we are going to be using coconut milk today too. But the reason this recipe is only gluten-free and no sugar added, and it's not dairy-free, is because we are going to be adding butter. But today we're going to be actually adding ghee. If you haven't started cooking with ghee, it's just, adds to the flavor of life. It's the same amount that you're going to be adding of butter, but it's used in many Indian recipes, and it does have a higher heating point. Bueno, Reese, ¿y la mamá con la leche y ghee? So we're just going to be mixing in the solid ingredients just a little bit before we add the liquid ingredients. Reese, ¿y la mamá? La leche? ¿Y la mamá? ¿Sí?
No.
No? Okay. So here is the coconut milk, like I mentioned. And we're going to be adding ghee. G-A-G-E. Jota. H-E-E. See? Oh, no. H-E-E. Ay, mama. See?
H-E-E.
Okay. ¿Cuántas cucharas de el? Tres cucharas. The nice thing about ghee is you don't have to melt it. It's already melted for you. Uno, dos, y tres. Woo! Okay. Now, as simple as this, we're just going to be mixing this all up together. And I will say that I was inspired specifically to make this again because my son's swim instructor, Summer, hi Summer, I gave her, I think, 4 of these to share with her husband, and she ended up eating all 4 herself in about 2 minutes. Yes, I quote that. She's an itty bitty swim instructor that we love and adore, and just had a baby about 6 months ago. She's eating like an animal for good reason, which is fine. I just thought it was funny that she enjoyed them so much. Ok, Reese. Listo. Ok. Y vamos a poner ellos. So we already preheated our oven to, we already preheated the oven to 350. So we don't have to worry about that. Now we're just going to go ahead and fill these up. And they will rise a little bit, but then they will shrink. As most of you know, with gluten-free cooking, it will rise in the beginning, but then it shrinks. It's just the nature of gluten-free cooking. I'm sorry. Okay, a ver. You the mama? Okay. Chef Reese is off duty today. Okay, so we have filled up the muffin tin. They're it's only about 11 here, but if you fill them up just a little bit less, you probably get 12. You know, hit or miss. We're gonna pop them in the oven for about 12 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and distribute them to our teachers as we usually do. And we're going to do a dinner party tomorrow. All right, let's go to the oven.
Yes, and
Okay, 12 minutos.
yes.
Say. All right, well, here we go. We just took these out of the oven. We're gonna let them cool for a little bit more before we take them out, just to make the protein solidify. And these are something that you can just carry with you to a trip if you don't have the luxury of making a campfire and you really want to have those s'mores. Like the Girl Scouts did back in 1927. Little did they know that we were making a recipe like this, or that recipe actually, for gosh, it's almost been 100 years. Gee. Yes, and also if you're that type of person who also doesn't really enjoy having the sugary marshmallow, go ahead and store them in the refrigerator. When you're not eating them, because it is chocolate, so it will slightly melt. But enjoy, and thank you again for joining us. We will be posting this video along with the recipe as we usually do to Instagram and our website. And once we have our life kind of figured out, when we know when Reese is going to be going back to school with the pandemic, we are going to be starting weekly, basically the network Collette, so we can do live videos with question and answer, and you can cook along with me in the comfort of your own kitchen. I will keep you tuned. Thanks so much. Ciao. Ciao.